I want to say that about the organization, I think they need only TOEFL degrees and experience in teaching. I
Yeah,
don't think they look for more details.
and I don't. Hey, everybody, who's tuning in here? I'm Tim in Malaysia. This is Buseina in Russia currently. Where are you from? You're
Yeah.
from somewhere in
No,
Africa
I'm from Yemen, but living in Russia right now.
with your
Yemen is
grandmother. Is that right?
Yemen is an Arabic country. What?
Are
Well,
you living with your grandmother? Is that right?
no, no, no. I just went to visit her, but
Okay.
I'm living here, with my mother and like we're moving soon to Turkey. Actually, it's
Oh,
just a
okay.
period of time. Yeah. So yeah, we have a lot of relatives here. My mother's is from Russia, and my father is Yemeni, so I'm mixed actually. Anyway, so your turn to ask. That's about me.
Well, I don't know. I've seen there's a group that we're in together, and it's I like these groups because some people are like really talkative and some are really quiet. I think it's interesting that they're kicking people out of groups when they don't talk because there's some people that are quiet, but they're
Yeah,
learning. Some of the quiet people are learning a lot. Some of the people are talking. They're just talking. They're
I think tho- I think those quiet people, quiet participants are feeling a little bit shy of making mistakes, and
that's a
that's
big.
why they aren't participate with us. And at least yeah, we give them a chance, but at least they should understand that the
Yeah.
language is about to make mistakes, because you get learning from it.
But
Yeah,
how do
the
you
more that
so
you
how do you think you should learn a language though? Do you believe in school with learn a bunch of grammar first and then talk or
no, no, no. I believe that I should like use all like not just movies. Documentary movies is really much more effective. The listens in English, even if you don't understand, the more that you listen, just listen and watch, even if you don't understand it. Then after a while, you get used to understand somehow about what they are speaking because you
yeah.
already heard many times those vocabularies. And I think at the first, if you feel boring, you have to watch the videos with subtitles that speaking in your language, like whatever, because we have foreigners too. So I think for me, for example, now I'm studying Turkish, and when the series are
Mm.
really helpful a lot more than movies because they are speaking the daily life issues that it's
And they
happen like good
it keeps
morning.
going. It's
uh,
not
e-
just 3 hours. It,
yeah,
it it goes and it goes and
and
it goes.
the same vocabularies you hear every time. It's just programming our minds to
Mm.
understand that language in that way.
Programming.
But
Yeah.
wa-
Absorbing.
watching those things isn't enough because you need to speak it. It won't improve your speaking. It only improves your understanding. And
But I don't
speaking
think see
from
the one thing I think a lot of people do wrong is they try to speak too soon. And that's really frustrating. When
actually, I understand them. I will tell you why.
okay, learning Turkish. Yes, go on.
Yeah, we are living in a technology life. It's everything is going fast. And you
Yeah.
need to cover everything's on, and that's why I think that people they started to live in a fast days, and they feel boring when it comes very slowly. And they should understand it won't get that way easy. They
But
must. like
how many people
they
are there like you and me telling them to relax a bit? You know, if it takes 6 months before you start talking, you can
yeah,
actually
yeah.
be very good at a lot of languages in 12 months. That's
Well,
fast. And but people don't have patience to wait 6 months to like absorb from music. You know, sing along with some songs. It's and read.
I Yeah, exactly. And I think that if you want to get faster, you need at least while you are watching series, at least repeat after them the way that they
Mhm.
saying. That way, I guess they will much more improving in their speaking, and it must be loudly, not just silent. It won't
Your
improve.
brain actually does hear what you're saying. You may not. It's hard to hear our mistakes. It's hard to hear our pronunciation problems, but still, your brain does hear what you're saying, and it will say, "Oh, that's different." It'll
Yeah.
adjust. It will.
Yeah, exactly. And beside that, if our brains are like not understanding where exactly the mistakes while we are pronouncing, there are native speakers who can we share our pronunciation with so they could fix our mistakes, right? Like you,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I'm learning English, you are already there, so you could like correct us while we are pronunciating in a wrong way. So native speakers are also important in our life while we are studying a new language, I guess. Not I guess, I'm sure about it. Anyway,
I
it's
think you
just
finally made a mistake.
what.
You're you're
Go,
you're
go.
very good. Pronunciating. You created a new word.
Okay, so what's the right one?
Pronouncing.
Pronouncing. Yes. See? That's what I'm talking about right now.
But this
Yeah.
is you're a good example of the other thing that I like to tell people. I mean, your English is actually quite good. Um, Even if your English wasn't as good, you're you're not shy. You're bold. You're going to talk to people, right? And
Yeah, of
the thing
course.
the thing that's really cool is if you've got the guts to talk to people, they're going to tell you what I didn't understand, and you've got a chance then to say, oh, okay, hang on, do I use different words? Did I
Ac-
say, what was wrong? And you got a chance to go try again, and a lot of people are like you said, they're just afraid of people laughing at them or feeling silly or whatever, and they don't try, and they don't nobody ever gets confused because they never talk, so
Well, to
they don't get that chance to learn.
exactly, to tell you the truth, I really don't care about people who's laughing at me while I'm making a lot of mistakes. uh,
Good,
Actually,
good.
I see it in a positive way. I make them happy. Yeah, so what? Just laughing at me, it doesn't matter. I'm just focusing on my aim. This is so important because if I'm going to feel shy because people are laughing at me, I won't reach my aims at all.
Hmm.
And people kill my creativeness, right? And improvement in my language. Besides, I think that it's kind like a tree. When we are focusing on the top of it, or we are going to like, it's a little bit hard for me to tell you that part.
Good.
But
Okay,
we are.
okay. So
It's just
tell me.
if we are focusing on the other leaves, we won't reach it. If we want to like if we want to aim to reach the aim, we have to look straight, right? The tree is straight already, but it has many how do we call it, like leaves and I'm sorry. I couldn't explain it in
You're not
English
going to ask
very well,
me?
but Yes, of course. Did you get my point
Of
first?
course, I understood your point. Do you want the word? I can give you the word.
Sure, why not?
Branches.
Branches, exactly. If we are going to focus on branches, we won't never get what we want, I think, right?
Cool.
We will live in the circle life, an endless moment that we are keep going and going and going, but not reaching the aim. That's it.
So, how old
So,
are you? I would guess 23. Is that right?
no, 28.
28? Okay.
No,
I'm
28.
50 already.
That's great. I think that there's a one point that I wanted to mention really, but I forgot it. Yeah, thank you. That, that, okay. So,
I like languages a lot.
the
I really want to speak 10 languages, and I don't know when I came up with that goal, but I remember I when I was working in California at a computer company, I actually flew down to Brazil and I gave training. And I remember telling the director at the company there that I was going to learn Chinese. And he's like, "No, you're not going to learn Chinese." And it's 25 years later. I haven't learned Chinese yet. I
well,
will. I will. I haven't done it yet.
to be honest with you, Mr. Tim, I've started like 4 or 5 years ago learning Chinese,
Yeah.
but it didn't work with me too. There were Chinese doctors living in Yemen, and I just sadly met them next to the institute where I was teaching.
Hmm.
And just when we see foreigners, we just a lot curious about them, where did they come from, what they are doing in our country, and so on. So we had a little conversation together. There were three Chinese actually, and like it was really great to know a new culture, new language. It opens new doors in life, new chances, knowing those people. But the most important thing is to accept them as they are, because they
Hmm.
have new culture, new traditions, new everything. We shouldn't force them our traditions, our aims, our ways of thinking, because everybody has their own ways of thinking. So I think if we accept each other, just we will have more freedom in connection and understanding. So I started to learn a little bit Chinese. It was really difficult to the way that we pronounce it. I feel that I pronounce the same way, but he says no, it's
I
not
don't
like that.
understand you.
So it was, and then when I asked about their shapes, they said between 3,000 and 5,000. I went,
Oh,
what?
the characters. Yeah.
The characters, it was too much, too many. i
You-
i think the thing that stops me is I was scary about the 5,000 character that I must learn them. I will lose my whole life still
yeah,
learning the Chinese language.
just to read the newspaper, I guess you're supposed to know like 2,000 characters. It's pretty crazy. I've not started. I've not
I
started
think,
on that.
well, the Chinese themselves told me that we even don't know all that characters. Like the native
But
speakers,
there's two parts to every character, right? And they know the base parts. So they can sort of,
exactly,
even a word they don't know, they can kind of figure out because there's two base parts and those
exact,
I don't know real well, but
exactly.
it makes sense somehow.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, just for me, I think that I should decide first what language are easiest one, so I could learn them fast. Then the hardest one, I'll put it way down if it's a hobby. But if it's really things that it should be learned first because you are going to use it in your work or something that you are trying to reach it, and without Chinese you won't get it, so you must put it in the first place.
Yeah, but
It,
you've got to find a way for to want it though. If you have to and you don't
yeah,
want to learn, it's going to be really really hard. It's not going to work well. You've if
exactly.
you've got to find a way to want to speak that language. It learning a
I
language,
think
it's a big task. You've got to want to actually speak it and communicate with people, or you'll never get there. You won't.
yes, yes, you're right. You're right. I've learned English because I loved it at first and still loving that language actually. And the second is the easiest language in the world, maybe,
Really.
besides Russian, I think that and by the way, for those learners, I never went to countries where they speak English language, actually. I've learned it by myself, and I've learned it in the institute in Yemen. Of course, there were teachers from the United States, and they were like, we were learning a lot from them and thankful for them. I'm speaking right now. Besides, it's just, they are there, but not all the time. So those learners, I think they should like push on themselves by communicating with the foreigners, with the native speakers, interacting. In this way, only you can get the language.
I've suggested to some people, it say you're like in Yemen, people aren't necessarily very rich, right? They may not have a lot of money. There's a lot of places,
Yeah.
you may not have a lot of money. You really could. You could walk up to somebody as they're walking into Starbucks and say, I would love to practice English. Would you buy me coffee? Can we talk? You might have to ask 30 people, but somebody's going to
Yeah.
say, I'd love to talk to you. Where are you from? I'm local. Oh yeah, come on.
Yeah.
How most people would be like, I'm not going to ask anybody.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you could do that. You could if you in fact if you could take a picture with somebody, go to Starbucks and have somebody talk to you, and do it tomorrow and the next day, and take a picture. And after 20 days, you could like put all those photos, print them, and then the next time you see somebody, you'd say, here's all the people I've talked to at Starbucks already. Can you be number 21?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
they'd be
Yeah, that's
laughing,
great.
they'd be like, this is cool. You're cool. Let's talk. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's really, and the opportunities come after that, It's just it's step by step. Things that we do, then it comes from unaware opportunities that we never expected.
Yeah.
And this is what we are losing actually. So it was really nice speech, Mr. Glenn, but really I have to go. Thank
Okay.
you. Really,
Can I ask you one
I enjoy.
thing about Yemen? How much
Yeah.
English do people speak there normally?
Well, recently we have a lot actually. They were started learning a lot, and we
Okay.
had many institutes up recently. But before it was really hard to find people speaking English language. And by the way, they are only speaking in the institute, and that's it.
Oh, well, okay,
In
that
the
was my
daily
next.
life,
So
yeah.
you
So
wouldn't
we
expect to find anybody from Yemen necessarily sitting at a cafe or restaurant talking English?
No, I mean
Not
in
normal.
streets you won't find people speaking to each other English language, only
Okay.
Arabic. But when I used to study there, when I like we were making friends with other students, and when our road in the same play, like in the same way, we just go together and try to speak till we reach home. It's just we using those moments. I mean, I'm talking to those students about who cares about learning an English language. If you really do care, you will catch every chance that you have, like,
Mm.
the, or you will create those chances, and you will just improve your language. All based on the person himself or herself. That's it.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. Have a good day too.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.